The president is facing criticism after retweeting an image of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi doctored to show them in Muslim garb, captioned, "The corrupted Dems trying their best to come to the Ayatollah's rescue." One Twitter reaction read this way, Stephanie: "Why the actual hell is the President of the United States using the way I and millions of other Americans dress and the religious beliefs that we hold as a slur? This absolutely must be condemned by congressional lawmakers on both sides of the aisle." Why would the president take even the time to retweet something like this?
I think the president is making clear that the Democrats have been parroting Iranian talking points and almost taking the side of terrorists and those who were out to kill the Americans. I think the president was making the point that the Democrats seem to hate him so much that they're willing to be on the side of countries and leadership of countries who want to kill Americans.
You know, it's interesting. His tweet in Farsi over the weekend, the Washington Times reported, was the leading Persian tweet in all of Twitter's history. So followed by this retweet, you can understand why people are concerned.
Well, certainly, but the president has made so clear that he is with the Iranian people. And the Iranian people have been chanting, that America they thought was the enemy and that they had been lied to. There was an American flag put on the ground that people are actually walking around. So that is because of this president's leadership. If anything, it's the Democrats who should be on the side of this president and rejoicing that a terrorist was killed and that these Iranian people have a real opportunity to do good things with their country.
Now, before anything else, I feel like it's important to note that the White House press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, has held all of 0 press conferences and yet still gets paid $183,000 from taxpayer money to go on Fox News and defend the President of the United States, tweeting out images of his rivals wearing Muslim garb as a religious slur. That's $183,000 taken out of your paycheck to defend outright racism on national television. This comes after Trump took to Twitter on Monday morning and retweeted a photo of Democrats Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi with the caption, "The corrupted Dems trying their best to come to the Ayatollah's rescue." And Stephanie Grisham's justification for this is that Democrats have been parroting Iranian talking points and taking the side of terrorists. In other words, she's defending the idea that wearing Muslim garb is akin to being on the side of terrorists. How on earth does that disprove that Trump's a bigot? And clearly Grisham doesn't even realize that she's inadvertently proved his critics' point, but that's just how ingrained the bigotry is in the Trump administration, that they can't even see it when they themselves are the ones saying it on national TV. Now, what she's referring to by calling Democratic leaders terrorist sympathizers is the fact that Democrats have been critical of Trump's strike on Qasem Soleimani because, among other reasons, it was illegal. Republicans are hell-bent on framing this as an issue of whether or not you supported Soleimani and the atrocities he committed, but in reality, this has absolutely nothing to do with Soleimani. Democrats are critical of Trump ordering a strike that had, and still has, the potential to get us mired in another war in the Middle East. And he did it, A, without congressional approval, which the Constitution requires, and B, while lying to even their own party about the rationale for not getting congressional approval. The administration claimed that there was an imminent threat, so they had no choice but to strike now. But since then, the White House has refused to outline what that imminent threat was. Intelligence officials have been unable to pinpoint any threat beyond just general threats. Republican senators fume that they weren't given anything even resembling proof of an imminent threat.
I still haven't had the questions answered that I came into that briefing expecting to ask. They left after 75 minutes. Now, I understand these are busy people. They've got a lot of demands on their time. They're appearing before a coordinate branch of government responsible for their funding, for their confirmation, for any approval of any military action they might undertake. And they had to leave after 75 minutes while they're in the process of telling us that we need to be good little boys and girls and run along and not debate this in public. I find that absolutely insane.
And even Robert O'Brien, Trump's national security advisor, couldn't offer anything besides telling Americans that they're just going to have to trust the administration on this.
Well, I think something we've been clear on, and I've seen the intelligence on this, Chris, and it was very strong. And look, in some ways, I would love to release the intelligence and show the American people, and I can tell you that they can trust the administration on this.
So when Democrats offer pushback, as much as Republicans want to reframe the argument to make it about whether Soleimani was bad or not, that's not at all what this is about, and they know it. The pushback is rightfully the result of an administration that has no problem undermining the Constitution, undermining their own party, and undermining overturning the will of the American people to unilaterally undertake military action that could very well cost countless American lives and dollars in the end. And by the way, Grisham goes on to say that Iranians are refusing to step on American flags painted onto the ground, a reference to videos like these.
Oh! کجا؟ بیشرف! 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 بیشرف!
But the reason isn't, as she says, in response to Trump's leadership. It's in response to the fact that the Iranian government lied for days about being responsible for shooting down a Ukrainian passenger aircraft. So I get that Trump wants to frame the protest against the Iranian government in response to their downing a civilian airplane as some pro-Trump celebration, but that literally has no basis in reality. And I know what you're thinking, Trump taking credit for something that has nothing to do with him? No. In reality, Trump's, quote, leadership with regard to Iran has been dismal. He took the US out of the Iran nuclear deal, against the advice of even his own administration, all because Obama put it together. And now, Iran has predictably announced that it would continue its efforts to become a nuclear power. The killing of Soleimani sent not thousands, but millions of Iranians into the streets in support of the Quds Forces General, at a time when civil unrest by moderates had previously been putting pressure on hardliners, all but ensuring hardline rule in Iran now as a result. And finally, while Trump praises himself as Iran's hero, consider that he literally blocked Iranians from entering the United States as part of his blanket travel ban against majority Muslim countries that he enacted because he's totally, definitely not a bigot. Of course, neither Trump nor his press secretary will ever have to acknowledge these glaring discrepancies between their talking points and reality because they're only transparent insofar as the questions are coming from some sycophant at Fox News. But with even Republicans beginning to break ranks and push back, at least on the issue of Iran, it is only a matter of time before Trump's allies realize that parroting his lies isn't nearly as much of a boon as it's made out to be.